Colby, did I tell you?
What's that, Barry?
I have an asymmetrical prostate. I'm pretty sure that means cancer, though. I don't have that. Let's not go to What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. Welcome to the second week of Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Right, and you might be asking, go ahead.
The second Robert Pattinson movie that I had never heard of.
He's quite an extensive filmography that you never would have known, right?
Right.
And I know it's weird for you guys to be thinking like, oh my God, why would you guys have a Robert Pattinson one? He's just a glitter vampire. Not true.
Right. Like I was like, he's had to have done stuff between Glitter Vampire and Batman.
Glitter Vampire sounds like a softcore
and
porno.
He did like 20 things between the two.
It's funny. It's funny when you garner this like image from a wildly successful teen dark fantasy romance that like it overshadows everything else that you've done, but he's solid in everything that we've seen him in so far. Right. But then, I always forget, of course he's solid. He's British, But before we get to telling you what today's movie is, let's go to the first segment, which is movie trailers.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever wondered what a day in the life of Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos looks like? Wonder no further in the 2012 movie Cosmopolis, directed by David Cronenberg, starring Robert Pattinson.
That's a weirdly accurate. I kept thinking that. I was like, it's like if like they did like a slice of life of Elon Musk. This is probably
what it looks
not too far off.
It's funny when I saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh, okay, it's gonna be like this." For some reason, Snowpiercer came into mind. I was like, "This whole movie is just gonna take place in this stretch limo." It doesn't, but for the majority of the film, you are in the stretch limo.
I a little bit as the movie started was thinking, is this like inspired by like the Christian Bale like American Psycho like? Because I feel like that could have been same universe.
Oh, yeah. I actually, for some reason, I really like that the author who did that, American Psycho, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I read like a couple of his books. What's his name? Let's go here. Based on, Brett Easton Ellis. He's also done like Rules of Engagement and all that stuff. Or Rules of Attraction. Okay. And it's weird. His like whole, I think I've also read Luna Park, but I don't remember that one as much as, because Rules of Attraction and American Psycho have movie adaptations.
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, as I was reading them, I was like, ugh. They're also pretentious, but ahead of their time. Yeah, no, it's funny when I saw the trailer for this too. I also thought, I was like, oh, it kind of reminded me of a No Sleep Reddit post. Like you've heard, like, No Sleep has their podcast, which was something. I think it was one of the things that got me into like podcasts and like wanting to make one, and that's what it really felt like, because I thought he was going to be just in this stretch limo the entire time, and I was like, this movie is almost 2 hours, and kind of down for it.
Phone booth.
Yeah, but a much more was a high tension pacing.
Yes, yeah. No, like when you said this, and I kind of like looked. I didn't watch trailer or anything before going in, but I was like, David Cronenberg. I remember being like young, and my dad showed me the movie Videodrome, and that movie is bizarre. And I was like, I think that's the movie that set me into like weird movies are good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like so like when I think about Cronenberg too, I also just think about like Japanese movies that I saw like when I was younger too, like Tetsuo. You know, where it's just like it's this huge like this body dysmorphia or like body modifications and
Right. Yeah.
Because when you think about Cronenberg, you think about his like monsters.
Yep. Yeah.
And so if you think that this movie is gonna have a Midnight Meat Train twist at the end, it's not. It's just Paul Giamatti at the end, which I mean, in itself could be.
We'll talk about that when we get to the end. There is the monster, but it's
Paul Giamatti. It's the Rhino.
It's internal, not external.
Yeah, which really disappointed me. I wanted there to be a monster. I wasn't trying to sign this up for this art house film that was gonna take like I had to watch like 4 or 5 videos. I was like, I didn't understand this movie at all. I got like the gist of it, right? Like the things that they're talking about, but I was like, there has to be more because I'm seeing a lot of surface level things.
Yeah.
I'm a boob and fart joke guy. Give me.
You say that, but like you, some of the art house films that we've gone through on this podcast, you've really nailed. Like you've picked some good ones, and so like you've got a little inner
little film critic.
Yeah,
I think that's because like the ones that like I get are different type. Like this one, it seems more like it deals with like economy, like like a lot of these business type or like just like the corruption of capitalism or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
And so maybe that's why I don't understand it as much.
So that was to me. Yeah. So it's like the capitalism is on the outside, but the real meat of the movie is what's in his heart.
What is it? Because
I don't know. Do we want to go through the movie first before we kind of discuss?
Yeah, so this is gonna be it's not gonna be like how we usually do it. I'm really just gonna read the plot summary from the Wikipedia because
the story is super rich guy gets in a limo to get a haircut.
Yeah.
Done.
But like I don't know how to really discuss everything in between it, so we're just gonna let the internet describe. You're gonna go on Wikipedia anyway, all right? So, 28-year-old billionaire currency speculator / asset manager Eric Packer rides slowly across Manhattan amid traffic jams in his state-of-the-art luxury stretch limousine office to his preferred barber. Various visitors discuss the meaning of life and inconsequential trivia. The traffic jams are caused by the visit for the President of the United States and the funeral of Eric's favorite musician, a rap artist whose music plays in one of his 2 private elevators. Despite devastating currency speculation losses over the course of the day, Packer fantasizes about buying the Rothko Chapel. He meets his wife, Elise, in her taxi for coffee in a bookstore, as well as outside of a theater, and she declines sex with him. Packer has sex with 2 other women. When a day of poor trading destroys a large part of his wealth, his wife takes this as a reason to dissolve their union. Anti-capitalist activists demonstrate on the street. They wave rats and declare a specter is haunting the world. The specter of capitalism. They spray paint Packer's limo and later subject him into a pieing. Packer learns that an assassin is out to kill him, but seems curiously uninterested in the person might be. In his car, his doctor performs daily medical checkups. Eric worries about the doctor finding out that he has an asymmetrical prostate, which I like Googled to see what that meant, and I guess it means cancer. I don't know. I couldn't get a definite answer.
Right.
As the currency speculation wipes out most of his fortune, Eric's world begins to disintegrate. Eventually, he kills his bodyguard. At the destination, the barber who knew his father cuts Eric's hair on one side. The barber and the limo driver discuss their respective career driving cabs. The barber gives Eric his gun because he had thrown away the bodyguards. Eric follows a path of further self-destruction, visiting his potential murderer, former employee Richard Sheets, a.k.a. Bino Levin. Eric seems ready to commit suicide, but instead shoots his hand. Sheets, Levin, who feels adrift in the capitalistic system, explains that Eric's mistake in speculating was looking for perfect symmetry patterns in the perfect symmetry and patterns in the currency market. He should have looked for the lopsided. His body with his asymmetrical prostate was telling him this. As Sheets points the gun to his head, Eric seems to have overcome his fear of death and awaits for Sheets to pull the trigger. The film ends without indicating the outcome. Reading it.
That's a weird. That is a very like black and white description of the movie.
But now for our audience, they kind of like gather, at least like the VHS back end.
yeah, the back of the box synopsis. Of the movie.
Because it's funny. When I was growing up, my aunt would like look after me sometimes when my mom was at work, and then she'd be watching Price is Right. So I'd try to change the channel, but then she'd open her eyes and be like, I was watching that. But she was like, I'm listening and watching. And I never understood that until today. Like, the mind was willing, but the body was not.
Yes.
I listened to this, even though I was like closing my eyes, I was still listening to it because I'm such a avid podcast listener. Mm-hmm. And so, surprisingly, even without the visual stimulation of this movie, I still, got most part of the story.
They really could have just thrown a few extra lines in to let you know where they were at, like time and place, and this could have been a podcast.
Yeah, because this movie, the way that it progresses the plot forward is he just gets visits in his stretch limo. Right. Yeah, from various people.
Literally 85 to 90% of this movie takes place in his limo. The last 10 minutes takes place with Paul Giamatti.
Oh, yeah, the last 20. It was like 20 minutes of Paul Giamatti and Robert Pattinson.
And then there's like a few quick out of the cabs with his girlfriend.
His wife.
Right. Yeah. You're right.
The one that won't let him get some.
And, besides that, the rest of it is in the cab.
Yeah. And he's, visited by various people that are...
like the ghost of Christmas Past.
Yeah. Well, they're all his, board members.
Right.
Jay Broschal is his, cybersecurity...
Yep.
And co-founder, which is, one of our first, visitors.
Right.
And
so Robert Pattinson is he is a young, cocky guy who is brilliant and made a ton of money. He came from money, but he made a ton of money on his own.
Yeah.
Really young. So his brain is very separated from the reality of the world.
He's
like the 1% of the 1%.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a part where he makes a joke where, or not really makes a joke, but he's talking to somebody, and he's oh yeah, I always wanted to fly a bomber, and the government wouldn't let me, the FFA and the whatever, and he goes through a couple. So I just went to an arms dealer and bought one for $100 million, and I flew it around for a half an hour. And then they're like, well, what did you do with it? I just I bought an airfield and I parked it there, and I know it's there. I can go and look at it.
Yeah, maybe that's why I didn't get this movie, right? It's like listening to Kanye West now. I don't understand what he's rapping about anymore because I don't have those problems.
Right.
My problems is trying to stretch my one paycheck into the next paycheck.
Yeah, it is. An awful lot of it is I feel like it is the intense boredom of having so much.
Yeah.
He's so rich that there's nothing that's not obtainable.
Yeah.
Because like he makes it like from when he's talking about like this girl's like, hey, you always wanted this one artist, a piece of his art, and he's like, well, yeah, like I kind of want all of them, and she's like, well, I know one's for sale, and he's just like, well, let me just buy the
chapel.
The chapel where they're at, and that way I have all of them, and I can just move that whole chapel like into my apartment because my apartment's big enough to fit it.
That's okay.
And she's like, well, what about other people who want to visit it? And he's like, well,
they can buy it.
Too bad. Like it'll be mine, so I can go visit it.
Okay, so the chapel that he's talking about, the Rothko Chapel, it's an actual like museum. It's a historic landmark in like Texas or something like that.
Yeah.
And it only holds like, I think it holds like the 14 paintings he's talking about and like a couple sculpture pieces and stuff like that. But the fact that he's like, I could fit that whole chapel, and I was like, geez, how big is this? Because when he says apartment, I'm pretty sure what he means is that he owns a building in Manhattan.
Right. Yes. Yeah, he has multiple floors.
Yeah, so I was like, I had to see what these paintings look like, and I was so mad. They're just like, it's just colors. Like it's not even like, it's not like I'm not saying like, oh, every painting is just colors, but this is just like, it's like the names of the paintings are like a red on yellow.
Yeah.
Oh, did you look them up?
Yep.
What the band? I was like,
they show them in the credits at the end, and it's just like a yellow with like a red line.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
I was just born in the wrong time.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah. Yeah, and so like a lot of this movie, it has these things that just kind of go over my head just because it's about topics I really don't understand.
Right. I had to look some stuff up. Like it's one of those things where it's like you want the encyclopedia sitting next to you, so you can kind of like look things up. But basically, he's a currency trader.
Yeah.
He watches the patterns and watches the charts and never guesses wrong. Like he knows the patterns, when to buy, when to sell, and has just become just billionaire off of this trading at 28. I think he's 28.
Yeah, he's 28. Wait, so like, what is it? Do you know what, I know, I figured I was going to ask you, I was like, he might know because you were into this, but like, what is a currency trader?
So exactly? It is, at this point, 10 years ago, it would basically be like, hey, I know the American dollar's doing well against like the peso, and Mexico is in a decline because they have a civil war.
Yeah.
So I could buy a bunch of pesos versus the dollar, and then wait a few weeks, wait till the
war's
revolution is over. The peso will come back up. I can sell it for 10 times what it's worth now. It's just a like...
Oh, so it's like stocks.
It's like stocks, but you're doing it like the currency of one country versus another.
Yeah. And so like one of his like major things, like the way that he loses most of his fortune is what does it mean when he says, I keep betting against the yuan, which is the Chinese, I think the Chinese currency, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because the charts say he should be winning.
Yeah.
But that's the asymmetrical prostate.
Yeah.
There is so many weird things happening in the world at that moment.
Yeah.
That things don't go the way the charts predict them to. And he over leverages because he's like, I'm never wrong. So instead of putting like $1 million to make $1 million, I'm going to put $1 billion in, just to double my money because I'm never wrong. And then there's this insurgency with the president. There's like these riots,
These rat riots.
Yeah, the rat riots. And all this stuff happens, and so like it goes the opposite direction, and he's probably, they don't really talk about it, but it's probably like where he's like margining, where it's like where you can bet money you don't have.
Oh,
And
okay.
so you're like, hey, I'm going to put money against this, where it's like, so every dollar, if I win, every dollar I put in, I'm winning like $10.
Okay.
But then every dollar I lose, I'm losing $10.
Oh.
So it's like this like exponential
Yeah.
gain or loss.
Oh, okay. So it's like the thing where like, wasn't it when all those like freaking brokers or whatever they call those stock traders like ended up like kind of killing themselves?
Right. Yeah.
Because was it GameStop or was it like something like
Enron.
that? Oh, Enron did it.
Enron, yes. Enron was the huge one back in this time period.
Was it during this period?
It would have been, yeah, Enron would have been...
I thought Enron was like in the 90s, late 90s. Or early 2000s. Late 90s.
I guess it was early 2000s.
No, it was late 90s because I think I was like in sixth grade when like all the news kept talking about Enron employees.
But that would have been because like even when Enron hit the wall,
yeah,
there were still like stock companies that were like, you should still put money in Enron because they've done so well, there's no way they can fail. Even though it looks bad right now,
yeah.
put your money in it because this is just a little bump, and then they're going to keep going. They're going to keep skyrocketing. And then they found out that they were like doing all this like insider trading and faking their numbers and stuff, and they went from like $100 to like $5 in like a week. But as they're coming down, companies are still like, no, don't believe the news because, you know, Enron's doing so well, they're unstoppable. This is just a little bump in the road. Keep putting your money into it. And so people were just still adding money as it was going down and just losing.
Oh.
Yeah, there was actually lots of lawsuits afterwards where they were like, hey, you told me to put my money in this company that was fraudulent, and you should have known it was fraudulent.
Oh man! See, if they're smart, they would have went to a country where you can't get expedited.
Wolf of Wall Street. You know, it was like, hey, all those stockbrokers were making money they were making their percentage off of every dollar you put into something. It didn't matter if it was going up or down.
Oh, that's what that movie was about?
That was what the movie was about. It wasn't necessarily about Enron, but it was about that in the 80s, that time period where it was like, just promote whatever because they'll put their money into it. It doesn't matter if it goes up or down, and we don't know.
Yeah.
We have no idea.
Yeah, they're just pushing any stock, right?
But if we push it and it goes up, they're going to think we're geniuses. You know? Yep, exactly.
I really thought Wolf of Wall Street was just about Quaaludes and Margot Robbie's tits. No, I'm just kidding. No. I understood a good chunk of Wolf of Wall Street. I was like, it was kind of boring to me. I was like, as a lot of people like kept liking it, I was like, it was all right.
It was
A great representation of the 80s.
It was scarily true. Like, it was way more true than people want to believe.
Oh, no, yeah, definitely. I was like, I could see this happening with rich people. Actually, I think it was more tamed.
Probably, yeah.
Where were the eyes wide shut sex parties? Yeah, thank God this movie didn't have that either. But, like, you know, I think maybe because this movie, just a warning for you guys, this movie is it's heavy dialogue, right? It's kind of the same reason why I don't like The Hateful Eight.
What I was actually going to say, Quentin Tarantino. Yeah. But the Cronenberg's movies often have a lot of dialogue.
Yeah. So. You know, but then, you know, he throws in monsters, so it keeps my attention. Yeah. Well, you throw a monster in once in a while.
The monster was in his head. He was the monster, the money, the capitalism, he was so out of touch of reality that he wanted to become human again.
Yeah.
And the one thing he remembered from his youth that like grounded him was getting a haircut from this old barber who used to cut his dad's hair.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, I need to touch reality again. So it doesn't matter that the city is basically burning to the ground.
Yeah.
Let's drive across town so I can get a haircut, even though I don't really need one.
Yeah, because everyone's like, do you need a haircut right now? Like, your hair looks fine.
Right. Like, and like, there's like, he weirdly runs into his wife 3 times on his trip across town, which takes all day because the president is like was shutting down all the major roads, major access points because he's in town. And there's the Wikipedia thing. His favorite rapper.
Yeah, his favorite rapper
Died and is basically doing like a let's drive down every city or every street in the city to like because he's like in an open casket in the back of like a hearse.
Yeah. At first I was like, when they're showing that, I was like, I thought maybe he was like, I was like, oh, that's cool. This movie's pretty progressive. Black Pope. Like, or something. I was like, wait. I was like, no, that can't be the Pope. He's like, why is it in New York?
But that's another little satirical thing where it was like, yes, it could have been the Pope, but he is a singer that is more popular than
the Pope,
the president.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible. Because I don't know if you guys have ever been, like, I don't know if you guys live in a city where, like, the president has to do, like, a tour. Or, like, you know, during, like, re-elections and stuff like that, they do a tour. I don't know if you've ever been stuck in traffic because they shut down that road for, like, an hour.
Right.
So they shut it down an hour prior just because they're like, oh, this is on the president's route. So, you know, we're going to have to drive through there.
Yep.
I remember being stuck on the off ramp for 45 minutes. I was so mad. I was like, oh my God. This is Las Vegas. Why does the president need to be here? Go to Carson City.
Yeah, but he runs into his wife 3 times. Once when she's in a cab.
Yeah.
And then they stop and they go get food.
Yeah.
And then once where she's at a bookstore because she wants to be a poet. And then they go and get food. And then once where she's coming out of a show.
Yep.
And then they go and stop and get food. Because really you could see like his base instincts is like sex and food. Those are like the 2 things
that run the world.
Stimulate him. Because he's just so bored. Like he's having sex with the security guard, and he's like, "Hey, you have a taser? You should tase me. I've never been tased before. Let's give that a try."
Yeah, like, you know, if you really had to think about it or had to put it in perspective, just think like every day is a day off. Like you have nothing on your schedule.
Right, and you have it's payday.
Yeah, every day.
Every day is payday, and you're off that day.
Yeah, see, this is why I love asking the question, right? Because, like, well, until, like, what was it, very much recent when the guy from Chicago won the $1.3 billion lotto.
Oh, yeah.
I think he took the lump sum, and it was like, what? He was, like, left with, like, around, what, 600 million?
Right.
Right? And I always looked at, I was like, I've been asking people all this question, right? I was like, well, I guess I could ask you now that you're here. All right, $600 million. What are you doing? This is the question. Like, this is what it feels like to be that rich, right? Because then you have that scope, and you're like, all right, what do I do now?
Right, because you're like, I'm gonna do this trip to like the Standles Islands, where it's all inclusive resort, and then that's $10,000. Now I still have
It's like pennies now.
$600 million left.
Because I was like, I even thought about it, right? Because a lot of these people, especially when like it started to get almost like when it started reaching the $1 billion mark, they're like, all right, if you win it, you put 20% aside for your family and friends. That way you're like, don't fucking bother me. Now I've given you probably more than you'll make in your lifetime.
Right.
And this is all for you. And I was like, all right, cool. I do that and I give them, or I pay their taxes. And I'm like, I'm still left with like
500 million.
Like it's like a drop in the bucket, like, or not really a drop in the bucket, but like still, like you're still left with like 500 million. And I was like, all right, what do you do now?
Yep.
My thing, my whole idea was like, all right, cool. Obviously, I don't have to work anymore.
Right.
I could work places just to like dick around for a little bit. But I was like, all right, it'd be cool for like a year or two is just like travel the world, have a videographer with me. I'm paying him like $100K a year. Right. And I'm just going to be eating everywhere. And then I'm just going to, but then like, that's like a year or two.
But even if you go all out, that's still $1 million a year, maybe.
Exactly.
You still have like $499 million left
to go.
Like I said, there's like, it's boring. Like life is boring when everything is so easy. Like you're like, this vacation was exciting because I had to work for the last 6 months and save for it. Yep. And then ask for the time off. And then finally like, yeah, I'm going to California and I'm going to hang out on the beach for 3 days and then go to Disneyland and then back to work.
Yeah.
But it makes it exciting because, it's like that little break. But if like everything's a break, every meal is your very favorite food,
it's like living life with a Game Shark. If you guys don't know what a Game Shark is, it was this device for video games back in the day where like you connect it to your game and then it gave you all the cheat codes, or it's just like you're playing Grand Theft Auto with cheats on.
Right. Yep.
It makes everything easy, and so like you could understand. I could understand like the crazy stuff that he kind of gets into, because it's just like there's just nothing else that's exciting for him.
Right.
He even has a bathroom in this thing.
Right. Yes.
One thing
and it's so secure. Like he talks about like that he's like the cork that they've put in the base of the car so that like they don't hear the engine. Yep. Like it keeps the car silent.
Quiet. Yeah, and so one thing I didn't understand is why did he kill his head of security?
Because the little bit of excitement that he was getting because he knew somebody was trying to kill him, and he knew his head of security was so good at his job that was no longer a threat. At the beginning it was, but then as the day progressed, it was less and less threatening because his security guard was seeing how competent his security guard was. So it was basically like, well, I'll kill my security guard. Because killing somebody is a little bit of a thrill.
Oh man, you can't do anything right.
Now you're dead. So now you're not going to be able to stop this killer. So now I have to.
Now I have to be on my toes.
Right, and I'll throw your gun away.
Yeah.
So like yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. See, I was like, now you're being able to put a lot of these things in perspective for me. But I was just like, he was just so bored.
Right.
I don't know if I get like
And he was actually like a little excited that he had lost like $1 billion that day. It was a little bit of a thrill because he had never really lost before.
See, I guess you got to be rich, right? To understand that, like, I'd be devastated. I don't know if I'd be like so devastated I'd like want to off myself. I'd be like, well, damn, that was like really fun to have for a while. All right, let's see if I can try to build it back up again.
Right.
It's like I wish you really looked at it like a sandcastle. It just washes away. You just got to build it back up again.
Right. You if you listen to some of the podcasts and stuff, Gary Vee is like
Oh yeah.
Like a marketer and an inspirational speaker and stuff like that. And he's done incredibly well for himself. And he always says that. Like, he always says, like, you know, people say, what would I do if I lost my money? He's like, sometimes I just wish I would. And I have to start from zero, because the excitement from starting from zero and then making it again would be so great. Like, he's like, it's almost lost its thrill that I'm as rich as I am.
If he really feels like that, he could just give it to me. Give it to me, and you can start from the ground up. Like, right. I'll cheer you on. All right, let's do our other segment: high star, low star. Kobe.
Oh, we actually got a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Both absurd and hyper real, shocking and droll. Once I got over the lack of straight narrative and felt the hypnotic power of the dialogue, when I witnessed some of the brilliant set pieces from a star-studded list of supporting actors, I was hooked. You don't have to get everything. It's as clear and significant as Crash, but complex and subtle in places. It felt multi-layered and worth revisiting. I feel to class this as dull is to look for the wrong things in director who is anything but controversial.
Conventional.
Conventional. I thought that the apocalyptic dream imagery of J.G. Ballard and his mercurial
I don't know how to say that. Lipstick
protagonists. It's not worth the heart-stopping moment, or it is not without heart-stopping moments too, with this sharp darts of piercing sex and violence. This film has a prophetic feel and only mature and revels in its truth with the passage of time. In other words, looking back, this will appreciate as great work.
English wasn't this guy's
sorry about that.
Yeah, that one was pretty grammatically. That one had grammatic issues. Now we have a 1 out of 10. Unending verbal masturbation. You gotta have a good title, guys. So bad, it's not even worth wasting my time writing a detailed review. The film is long, uninteresting verbal masturbation session. It's 2 hours of proselytizing from characters you don't care about, who don't say anything you couldn't have read off a Occupy Wall Street protest sign. Don't believe anyone who tells you it's genius. I would have walked out of the cinema after 30 minutes if I hadn't been with a friend's family. Oh my God, you watched this with the family? I honestly considered feigning illness so as to have a valid excuse to leave. Hands down, one of the worst films I have ever seen. This coming from someone who's seen Weekend at Bernie's too.
I liked Weekend at Bernie's too.
Yeah, well, you're not like a great measure of...
Right. That is a very obvious, in-your-face, slapsticky comedy movie. Yeah. This is a very subtle, very satirical on society and the fall of man, kind of story. That it's
Yeah, this is a very, I guess I could say, very intellectually cerebral. Because
realistically, at the beginning, it's very wordy. Yeah. And I felt that Robert Pattinson was too stiff. I wanted him to be rich, cocky, and he wasn't. And I don't know if I wanted that so that I could hate him or that I could like him.
Yeah.
But I didn't really feel anything towards him.
Yeah.
But that made it, as the movie progressed, it made, the other characters more important, because you didn't necessarily even care about Robert Pattinson. and then at the last 10 minutes is Paul Giamatti, and like that's finally the character. He's finally like the character you care about and like can empathize with.
Yeah.
Because he's like lost his job to a computer that follows the statistics just because the computer does it better than he does. And, you know, he's just like now down on his luck because this brilliant genius billionaire philanthropist doesn't care that this poor guy lost his job to a computer.
Yeah. Well, I think that's like Cronenberg doing his job, right?
Right.
Because like, yeah, like you could also like look at like, oh, I really wish Robert Pattinson was a much more likable character, but you know, to the point like where we see him at the movie, he's already at that point where like he really doesn't care.
Right.
So I don't know if at the time it was intentional to cast Robert Pattinson being very stiff in it, or it wasn't intentional. But like either way, I think it fit the character really well.
Cronenberg's a director that does a great job pulling the feeling out of a person that he's directing. So I feel it had to be intentional.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say, because it was like, I don't think Cronenberg would have been like, what was it called? Like, I don't think he would have settled.
Right.
For anything less than what he envisioned what the movie was supposed to be. So
yeah.
It definitely had to be intentional. And he, you know, Robert Pattinson also, he talked in that very Cronenberg trademark like whisper.
Yes. Yep.
I was like, why is he talking like that? And I was like, is that a Cronenberg thing? And then so I started looking up other clips, and I was like, oh, okay, it's very intentional.
Oh yeah, no, like 3 minutes into the movie, you're like, oh, this is the Cronenberg style. Like you said, minus monsters.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, no, give me a Clive Barker original.
Well, because it's usually like more like horrific body imagery, and here you have to imagine that change and that monster growing, but it's all cerebral.
Yeah. Like, it's funny, like me and Kobe were talking about it. I don't know when this episode's going to come out, but you know, the Sandman just came out on Netflix, maybe like a week or so ago. Maybe a week, right?
Yep.
And you know, it actually it's funny enough that what's it called? Robin Pattinson's character in here, it very much so mirrors what a endless could be, right? An immortal. Or a god. Well, not a god, but like versus like I'm talking about just like like the immortality.
I
of
could
it all.
see if they had a huge budget and they did a movie that they could have pulled him in to play that part.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the parallels between like an endless like Dream who's been alive for so long,
right?
And nothing seems to interest him anymore. And Robert Pattinson's character in here who doesn't have to struggle and everything is so easy for him, you know, because like remember like in the Sandman, how far are you into the show?
I
mean, you've read the comic, so I kind of feel like
so I'm on the episode where he is meeting the guy at the bar every 100 years.
Oh, okay. So like you can see like so you've seen that episode, right?
Yeah.
So remember he's like he has the whole deal with his sister. He's like, well, let's see if you want like I'll give him a century. He'll be begging to die.
Right. Yes.
And every 100 years he proves him wrong.
Well, oh, it's almost the opposite. Yes, because here is like Pattinson at the end. At the end, they leave it open of whether he gets killed or not, but it's basically like he's just like, I've won life. Yeah. So if you kill me, then maybe that'll make my death will make your life worth something. Yeah. So it's that whole thing where like you know in Hobbes's like very opposite direction, there's nothing left for Robert Pattinson's character to do. Right. Yeah. Versus this guy, I don't know, he's just greedy. Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, this movie was it definitely is a thinker. I don't know. This movie's definitely not going to be for everybody. And like the review guy said, he was like, after 30 minutes, he was thinking about faking illness to get out of it. Power through the first 30 minutes. The first 30 minutes are a tough to get into the flow of this.
Yeah.
Because nothing happens really. And like nothing happens, and there's nobody in the movie yet that you relate to or like or care about, and you're just like, this is just a lot of talking about things that are way above my pay grade. But then it starts to, like, I think about the second time he sees his wife, he has that conversation where he's like, where she like he says something and she's like, wow, we're actually having a conversation. I actually learned something about you.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and that's when you start to realize you're like, ow, he's like so out of touch with reality that he's married and his wife doesn't even know anything about him.
Yeah.
Like they don't even sit down and have conversations. And he's like, you know, I just want sex. And she's like, I want you to romance me. And
yeah, she is a poet.
Those two things just don't go together in their two worlds.
Yeah. Well, also because like his wife was like a business marriage, right? Like her family's equally as rich.
Right. But I felt like that was like, not that it was a business marriage, but it was like, I'm not going to marry somebody who's going to use me for my money. And they were like, her family was like, you're not going to marry somebody who's going to use you for your money. So they didn't really fall. I guess, right? They didn't really fall in love, but they both wanted to be married. And then it was.
Yeah, because then like in one of the scenes, like one of the people asked, like, how much are you guys worth together?
Right.
Like you guys have all the money.
Yeah.
Like if he was worth like I don't know, $5 billion, and she's worth equally the same. Jesus.
Yeah, and it's kind of a mix of she hasn't made any money. She wants to be a poet.
Yeah.
But she comes from rich family.
Yeah.
And he you know, his dad worked hard and had some money, but he's the one who's like become this super successful billionaire, you know, stock trader.
So I don't know if you guys know about me, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
Yep.
He is not. Well, actually, you know, he did become that. Robert Pattinson is the Batman. Oh man. But yeah. So so just a warning for everybody. Yeah, like and, you know, it's funny that you say that, like, power through the first 30 minutes. That's what I tell people about One Piece. You know, it's like, you know, in 2007 it gets really good. It's like, I know it's one of those series. If you guys don't know, One Piece just reached a landmark of selling 500 million copies. They got the Guinness World Record for the most manga sold, and it's like one of those series that's like, it's 1,000 episodes long, right? And people are like, I don't want to get into that. And so you might feel the same way about this movie. It's like, it's about economy or like capitalism and shit. I don't fucking can. Like, this guy wants to put a gun range in his apartment. Like,
there's lots of things about it, because this is like 2008 this came out.
2012.
2012. Okay, so it had been like right after the 2008 market crash and housing bubble. But we're like going into a recession now, so like it's almost like cycled through and is like relevant again.
I know, right? History repeating itself,
right?
But yeah, like he also wanted a helipad. I love the fact he's like, I have 2 private elevators. One goes at a quarter of the speed,
right? Just
in case I want to enjoy the moment in my elevator.
Yep.
That's playing rap music. I got tricked though, because I really wanted to watch this movie too for Jay Broshaw. I like him. As an actor. You don't really get to see him as much anymore. I don't know, maybe if he's just writing now, But it's funny because he was like kind of not on top of the world, but after what's it called, that one movie with like when they're all playing themselves, End of Times or whatever. Mm-hmm. I forgot what it's called. Then he did like Goon 1 and 2 with Sean William Scott, but I haven't really seen him lately. And then I know this movie was produced in Canada, so maybe just like he just went back to the Great White North. That's what How I Met Your Mother calls Canada. I wonder if they call it that too.
They might. I don't know.
Oh man, but yeah, it was so I guess I'm feeling like you like this movie a lot.
I did. Like I said, I'm a big Cronenberg fan.
Yeah.
So like I really like a lot of. I haven't seen all of his movies, but I like Dead Ringers, Videodrome. He did Fly. Naked Lunch was by far the most bizarre movie I've ever seen. Well, like we could have done a Cronenberg month, and I would have been like, "Yes, we could do that."
No, I'm all right. I'll watch The Fly with you, but that's because it has what's his face in it?
History of Violence. Is that what's his movie like? Something like called like that? I don't know. But yeah, it's. I like his style, and I like his selection of very off the beaten path movies.
Yeah. You can't be mad at that.
So like I was excited coming into this. I think if I didn't know his past movie style, the first half of this would have been even more difficult to get through. Because if you were not familiar with that and you were not into that kind of cerebral kind of movie,
it's gonna be a tough watch.
Starting watching this, you're gonna be like, I have no idea what's going on, and I'm not willing to stick around.
Yeah,
for 2 hours to figure it out.
Yeah, Cronenberg's movie, like his style, is definitely. He definitely doesn't treat his audience like idiots.
Right. Yes. There's nothing in this is spoon-fed.
Yeah. And, the funny thing is like, The Fly is probably one of the first Cronenberg movies I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And who's the main actor in there? It's Jeff Goldblum?
Goldblum, yeah.
And I was like, man, what an actor, And then after I seen him afterwards, it's like, oh, okay, I guess only Cronenberg can draw out that genius. Well, because besides The Fly, right? Everything I've ever seen Jeff Goldblum in, he's pretty much kind of the same character.
Right. Yes.
He has that Owen Wilson complex.
Yep.
But like in The Fly, he's much more versatile.
Right.
There's a little more layers to it. And I'm not saying that Jeff Goldblum isn't a layered actor, but he's definitely phony and funny.
You've got a director who can showcase his talent.
Yeah, and the funny thing is like I think we're kind of running out of directors like Cronenberg, Kubrick, Ridley Scott's kind of like on the not the decline, but he's old now,
Right. Yeah.
And we have Steven Spielberg, and so like we have like a lot of these directors now. I mean, I'm not saying like Jordan Peele is. I think I would put Jordan Peele in the same category now.
Right, the next generation.
Yeah, but to obviously, I don't know what Cronenberg. I don't know how he is on set, but obviously we've heard like the horror stories with Kubrick and like making that one chick do like 200 takes out of it. She like fell out of exhaustion by the end of it. Like,
right. Yep. So
definitely, like, of course, like their practices definitely was different back in the day, but man, did they get results.
Yeah.
It sounds bad. Did you ever hear about anything about Cronenberg as a director?
I actually watched a little interview with him and Robert Pattinson talking about this movie, and Robert Pattinson was just basically like, hey, Twilight was done, and I was looking for something different, and I was like, every day was like, here's another script, and everything was just Hollywood movie. And then this came across, and he was like, and it was really strange and different, and he was like, I was willing to give it a chance, and he was like, hey, every movie I've ever been in, even the Twilight movies, everybody has their own opinion. They're like, hey, I think my character should do this. Don't you think this should go this way? And the director listened to you, and he's like, and then you got on this movie, and everybody was like, Mr. Cronenberg, what would you like me to do?
Well, yeah, you know, obviously by the time that they made this movie, he was like this legendary director.
Yeah.
You're like, there's nothing that I can say that's going to top his vision for how this movie is supposed to happen. Because, yeah, we do have, like the review said, we have a very eccentric but very star-studded cast.
Right.
You know, like, they might not be, like, Hollywood big, but they're big in, like, the art film world and all that stuff.
You'll recognize
indie films. Yeah.
Everybody.
So, yeah, this movie was definitely strange. All right, guys, we're coming up to an hour. Thank you guys for joining us. This is the first time you guys are joining us, we do our reviews in 4 sections. We have Stream It, DVD it, Blu-ray it, and the Ultimate Box Collection. So, Colby, where you at? I know you want that Cronenberg collection.
I would rather be a Cronenberg collection than a Pattinson collection. But yeah, no, I'd love to do that. I would kind of like last week's movie. Like, the movie ended and it was like, I'm not sure where I'm going to put this. And then like a day, 24, 48 hours goes by, and I'm like, each time I think about it, I like this movie more and more. And then, you know, now I'm like watching interviews about it and looking at other reviews on it, and I want to watch it again. Yeah, I probably have to go Blu-ray on this.
Oh, you want that DVD? You want that Blu-ray commentary?
If there's commentary, that would be great.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, there's no monsters in it, so I'm gonna go stream it.
Fair enough.
If only, okay, so like the movie didn't have to be riddled with Cronenberg monsters, right? But picture this, right? I already know Paul Giamatti, already scary enough. But if Paul Giamatti manifested himself into everything that Robert Pattinson was like feeling, whether it's like the void that he was feeling of the purpose of his life, or just the monster that he feels like it's like looming around every corner or something of failure. I don't know, something. Right. And he just transformed into it. Like, instant Blu-ray.
Oh, and real quick fun fact. Cronenberg actually originally was looking at Colin Farrell to play the main part, but Colin Farrell had just signed to do the remake of
Total Recall
same year. And so
such a wasted movie.
So then they ended up pulling Pattinson because he had just gotten out of his contract with the Twilight series.
I don't think I would have liked Colin Farrell in this.
I thought at the beginning I wanted it to be Christian Bale from American Psycho. Like, I felt like that energy and that cockiness that he did in American Psycho would have started this movie off a little better than this like just sad mopey billionaire.
Yeah.
But like by the end of the movie, like he really like grew into the part as the movie progressed.
Yeah.
And I don't think Bale would have finished it as well.
Oof. Man, try saying that to Bale. This guy was like 120 pounds for The Machinist. Is that how you say it? Or is it The Machinist?
I loved that movie too.
I don't remember that movie too well, and I think when I think about it, it's like, I don't want to watch that again. You ever have those like movies you're like, I'm all right. They're great movies.
Right.
I just don't want to see them again.
Not The Machinist. I just like to show people that movie.
Yeah, he is disgustingly skinny in that movie.
Right. And he did it to himself.
Yeah, like you should never do that. Please don't.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he like damaged his organs. Like,
right. Yep.
And I'm super glad he didn't try to do that for Thor: Love and Thunder. I talked to some people about it. They're like, I was kind of disappointed because Gore the God Butcher is such a dope character, and they're like, I love Taika Waititi, but I think Disney pressured him into making it like funny,
right?
Versus like the dope God killing movie it should have been.
Yep, I've heard exactly the same thing.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Always appreciate it. Make sure to check out the links down below, and also check out our YouTube channel, WWT Commentary, where we're just talking about movies.
You could see our pretty faces as we're talking about movies.
Well, the 8-bit version of us, right?
The 8-bit version's better than the real version. But of course, follow our socials too: Facebook, Twitter. That way you see everything that's coming out, all the stuff we're doing. I don't know, who knows? We'll make our appearances eventually somewhere, and we'll let you know on there.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out our theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Music for Podcast 3, and our Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.